Let's talk about Bell Let's Talk Day and the impact it has on Canadians.
For sure. Bell Let's Talk Day, along with a lot of other initiatives throughout the year, including Mental Health Week in May, all have helped propel the conversation on mental health and mental illness in Alberta, and has, I think, really helped roll together more acceptance around the idea of opening up and having conversations about our mental health.
A staggering fact, David, is that 1 in 5 Canadians are living with mental health issues.
It is, and in many ways, we're trying to step away from that number because in some ways it seems like, well, as long as it's somebody else, then it's not me. And what we talk about a lot more these days is that mental illness, which includes addiction, continues to impact all Albertans within either their own personal life or within the circle of people that they care for.
David Borwilder, the Executive Director of the Canadian Mental Health Association of Alberta, joining us on the show. David, is there a more common type of mental illness that is common?
It's a good question because there are some. Certainly, most pervasive in Alberta's population is depression and its close cousin, anxiety. We know that in past years, more than 500,000 Albertans have filled prescriptions for antidepressants, which is a remarkably large number when we consider that within the spectrum of mental illness, that's only one segment of what people are dealing with. And that number represents only people who have gone to a doctor, gotten a prescription, and gone and had their prescription filled. And certainly we know that many people are also, using other approaches to deal with their depression. So we know that depression is pervasive in Alberta.
Is workplace mental health a pretty big thing as well right now?
It is for sure, because one of the areas where stigma still seems to show up a lot is in the workplace. People still fear that disclosing their struggle with mental health or their journey of mental illness, if they disclose that in the workplace, it could jeopardize their job or the opportunity to be promoted. And while we see more and more employers are, taking great steps in establishing mentally healthy workplaces, there's a long way to go still. The truth is many employees across Alberta are really hesitant still to have that conversation about mental health in the workplace. So the way that change happens there is employers need to step up and open up the conversation.
David, if somebody's listening right now, maybe they're going through something and they're thinking that nobody cares, what's the first step? How can they reach out?
I think the first step is to talk to somebody else. For most of us, there is somebody within our family circle or within our circle of friends who we know they could handle our questioning about ourselves and about our mental health. And if that isn't the case, there are certainly emergency numbers across Alberta that can be accessed through a website called mymentalhealth.ca. All the information there about each region in Alberta is all listed on the website.
And if you are needing to talk to somebody, remember, support is a phone call away. You can call the First Nations and Inuit Hope for Wellness Helpline. That number is 855-242-3310.